thought it was like 3. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Donovan. You guys were leading basically the whole night, then they cut it to 2. What were you sensing in that moment?
We let our defense, our offense affect our defense. We weren't making shots. Got a little tired, a little stagnant, especially when the game got choppy with the fouls. Kind of got away from what we're doing. Then give them credit. They were making getting the 50-50 balls, doing little things. But the biggest thing with me is we responded when we needed to and closed the game out.
What made you feel like you had to take over in that moment?
I feel like to start the game, I kind of made an emphasis to, last game I was getting to the paint, and I kind of knew tonight that my drives were going to allow guys to get shots. And then the third quarter wasn't really getting I wasn't making shots, to be honest. I wasn't making the shots that I typically make. And so the fourth quarter is like, all right, it's a 2-point game. Let's find a way. The first one was a floater, and then it's like you just keep finding the mismatch and trying to find ways to, manipulate the game. And I've always told y'all, some nights it's doing what I did tonight, scoring. Some nights it's getting in there and creating. Just trying to make the defense, force them to make a decision and make the right play.
Just mentioned some nights it's scoring, some nights it's creating as far as sensing the moment goes. How do you know when it's time for it to be scoring?
I think, like I said, the way I started the game, the way I was getting into the paint and finding guys, will allow me to get lanes in the second half. I just wasn't converting necessarily. And then the fourth, it was like, all right, let me go ahead and try to make this push. And so like I always tell you, sometimes the shots go in, and they do. But like I said, the floater, the mid-range jumper, trying to find ways just to put pressure on it. Even getting the foul at the free throw line, like just trying to put pressure on the rim and kind of seeing what happens. And that's why I'm here. It's my job. And yeah.
Playoff adversity early in the postseason be helpful?
I love it. I love the fact that the game happened like this. I'd much rather this than win by 20 like we did the other night, back to back. Especially going into an environment like we are in a few days. We had to really find a way as a group. We were up. We did a lot of things positive, did some negative things, and then we responded. So I think that's just going to help on a night-to-night basis. When we're not making shots, when we're not executing, how do we find a way? How do we still have the will, and we always show it, especially during the regular season, but to see it come out this way tonight, especially before going on the road, was definitely huge.
Don, first of all, in that, when you have that moment at the end of the game where you're just knocking out a bunch of shots, kind of lifting the team like that, just put us in your perspective. Like, what is that like? What does it feel like in that moment? Like, what do you see?
At that moment, it's just like, all right, just keep finding the mismatch, finding them, miscommunication in coverages, and make a play. That's really it. If they go under, take the shots, get into my spot, hit the mid-range or a floater. The same one, the ball slipped out of Max's hands, but they double, kick it to Max. The one I'm kicking myself on is I try to draw a foul late knowing I'm not going to get it, and I shot over the top of the damn backboard. But those are the moments. You work hard, and it was a little fatigue or whatever, but you put your head down and get to, the spots. And sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's scoring, sometimes it's getting to those spots and they collapse and you make the play. And tonight it was myself scoring and doing what the team needed.
And then last year, you guys were up 2-0 in the first round on Orlando. Go to their place. They took those 2 games. How are you guys kind of approaching it this year? What did you kind of learn from that experience last year, just sort of make sure that doesn't happen this time?
Yeah, I think we're grateful for those 2 experiences. Those were 2 nasty games by us. Having that fresh on the brain is definitely helpful coming into this series against a team that's, very good. They make adjustments, and their staff is really good. So having that fresh on the brain is helpful, and having this game go the way that it did will definitely have a major impact, because it's fresh, and I think we'll be ready for the challenge down there.
Donovan, Kenny said that Evan put in a lot of extra work after game 1. What kind of sense of determination did you see from him after game 1?
I think, and I said this earlier, like when you have an All-NBA Defensive Player of the Year player willing to take a back seat in the first round of a playoff game to myself, Ty, and DG, who were rolling, that's big time. I think we kind of looked at this, he wasn't aggressive. Like, he was just like, you know what, y'all are rolling, go. Like, that speaks to the person and the player he is. And then to come in and set the tone early tonight, obviously going 7 of 10, getting into the paint, having 20 points, big free throws at the end of the game, 3 threes, I think for him, this is who, like I always say, this is who he's going to be. But for him, he's always, being unselfish, and then when his time comes, being ready for it. And this is just the first of many games of him continuing to be dominant for us.
And DeAndre Hunter, how important was it for you guys to get him involved more, let him find his rhythm?
Yeah, big time. We knew last game it wasn't going to continue. Obviously that's not him. But, for us to be able to still get the win the way we did without his offensive production was huge. But for tonight, you see obviously 12 points and whatnot, and just a plus 12 off the bench. Like, he was huge for us, getting stops, being in the lane. That's who he is. And Max said in the locker room, it's not every night's going to be everybody's night. It's how do you continue to step up, and he was huge for us tonight.
What have you seen? What did you see from Evan in the gym the last couple days between games 1 and 2?
To me, I say nothing different because he's always been he's been doing this all year. He takes his shirt off, gets to work, acts like he's 250 pounds. You know what I'm saying? But I think you see a look in his eyes, and it's really the first initial bucket. Like, all right, he's going. Like, you can kind of tell. And to me, my biggest thing is just the mindset, and you can kind of see it. And him and I have our conversations on the side. I think it was more so the mindset of, like, he knew. And game 1 wasn't even a bad game. It's just, like I said, it was just him allowing others, the same way we've done all year as a group, allowing others to flourish. You know what I'm saying? So for him to come in and set that tone, and then obviously do a solid job on Bam and Ware and making it tough, switching on the perimeter. That's what we need. But it's really a mindset thing. It's really a look. It's really like something that when you can kind of tell early on.
This will sound like an essay question, and the votes have already been cast. We'll find out how it goes tomorrow. But with him,
Do it tomorrow? Oh, okay, cool. I
him
didn't know
playing as the primary defender on Bam, the job that he did tonight, how is that representative of the case that he made all year for EO2?
I mean, he's done it, like you said, he's done it all year in many different fashions. He's done it on guards, bigs, wings. He's our anchor down there, him and J.A., and for him to be as young as he is, to understand angles, understand different things, help side, being in different places, that's a talent in itself. I don't know what the numbers are. I really could care less, because y'all saw when he didn't play this year, we lost games. So it's like, you look at his impact to our group, and I've been telling y'all all year, this is the worst he's going to be. And if the worst is all NBA and Defensive Player of the Year, we got something special. Like, you know what I'm saying? So will be his first award next year, and first of many, in my opinion. Him and Victor will be battling it out for years. And but yeah, this is who he is. And Bam's a high-level player. I know Bam's going to be aggressive next game, and he's going to be ready. It's going to be a great challenge for Ev and for us as a group. But yeah, when he's out there, obviously J.A. as well. I want to give him his due as well. But obviously with Ev out there, man, changes us completely and takes us to where we've been all year.
Don, you've talked about how exciting the whiteout is and just the crowd and the energy. How cool is it to see, like, basically the entire Guardians team showing up, Stephen Kwan doing the sword? Does that juice you guys up because your next-door neighbors also are striving for big goals this season?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I saw Jose behind the bench. I told him I was just trying to be like him. Like, you know what I mean? And obviously, y'all know my passion for baseball, my love. And Greg Newsom and Denzel Ward over there as well. Like, it's great to see. I think that's one of the things I love about being here is it's not just us. You know what I mean? Like, it's everybody supports everybody, and I think it's a special place, and it's a special group, obviously within the athletes as well. Obviously the Guardians lost today, but they beat the Yankees, thankfully. I'm a Mets fan, so but you know what I mean? I think it's huge, and we were there last year for the playoff series and some high level games, man, and to see that and see the arena go crazy, it really is dope. This is a dope environment. I love playing here. I love playing playoff games here. So yeah, I mean, it's exciting.
Donovan, you guys made 11 3-pointers in the second quarter, set an NBA playoff record for most in the quarter. You assisted on 5 of them. Just what's it like with that ball movement and when you guys are on a roll like that?
I mean, it worked exactly in my head how I thought it was going to go. When you envision what you take from game 1 to game 2, I thought, yeah, if I get to the paint, guys are going to collapse. And then to see guys continually hit shots, I mean, it's just a special group. That's not always the case. I've been on teams where we don't shoot the 3-ball well, even though we get open looks. I've been on teams like y'all have seen in Utah where we shoot just like we did here. It's a special weapon that it can be anybody any given night. And when you're going into a game thinking, all right, knowing, all right, I got Dre over here. I get a swing pass at the corner. I know for a fact Sam's going to knock this down. You got Ty Jerome shooting from the C on the under. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's special. You got DG. You know, if you mess up, he's right there knocking down a 3 on a step back. You got Evan knocking down threes. It's really special. You know, obviously Isaac came in and did his thing as well in the corner. When you have a versatility like that from the three-point line, it really makes it tough to guard, and that's what you saw in the second quarter.
Donovan, so they cut it to 2, and there was obviously tension inside the building, but looking at you, you were so calm, you were so zen. Why are you able to be like that in those pressure moments?
I mean, I work really hard to be in those moments. I think we all do. And for me especially, one, I've been there a bunch of times and failed and succeeded. So, like, if you're going to worry, like, I've worried and succeeded. I've worried and failed. Like, what's the point of worrying at that point? You know what I mean? And also for me, knowing, all right, cool, it's a 2-point game. If I can get this shot here, cool. If I can get this here, you work on it. You believe in yourself and your teammates, and they believe in me. And I said to them at that timeout, I said, we wouldn't want it any other way. We wouldn't want to come down to Miami winning by 20 again. This is what it's going to be. You know what I mean? We've blown teams out all season during the regular. This is right here. These are the moments. You know what I'm saying? And we responded. And I think for myself is I've seen so many different things, you know, in different moments, positive and negative in the fourth quarter. So for me, it's like, doesn't do anything for you to get worried or get high or get low. You have to stay even keel, and that's my job as a leader for the group.